Good morning. This is Dave Weber again, the independent candidate for the United States Senate in New York for 2018. And this is today's segment of What You Need to Know. I'm going to focus more on what I bring to the table, what my platform is, rather than trashing the other parties. It's pretty obvious to most people in this country that the two-party system is no longer effective. There is no bipartisanship anymore. It is simply partisan politics right down the line, and nothing is getting done for the American people and for the people of New York. I want to be the senator for all New Yorkers and all Americans, regardless of party and race and color and creed and religion and all that. So to do that, you have to be strong. You have to have set policies, and you're going to find that I'm the conservative. Uh, I'm not Democrat or Republican. I am conservative, however, and many of my issues, platform issues, will mirror those of President Trump. You can't argue with the results in a year and a half that he's had. And regardless of what you think of him personally, you have to set those things aside. Just like when you walk in the door at work and you personally don't get along with some of your fellow workers, you have to set that aside. So what are my policies? Well, there's a lot of different things. I'm just going to run through them, and we can talk more about different ones in another segment. I believe, first of all, we have an opioid crisis, obviously, in the state of New York and in this country. And the only way to solve it is to attack it at its source. Any problem, you must attack it at its source. And the source of that is pharmaceutical companies, the doctors doling out the medicine and the pills like candy, the shipment of opioids to small areas in huge bunches so that they can be picked up and distributed and so forth. And the lobbyists who are controlling what the Senate and the Congress passes. I'm all for secured borders, including the wall. We cannot have the policy that the Democrats want of open borders and anybody coming in at any time that they want. It's no longer what it was back when our parents and grandparents immigrated. We're all immigrants, but not like today. It's a different world, and things change, times change. You have to change with the times, and the Democrats are not willing to do that. And let me be clear: the establishment Republicans are not any help in this matter. They should have passed immigration reform. They should have passed health care a long time ago, but they haven't. So I'm for securing the borders and complete immigration reform. We got to talk about preserving Social Security and Medicare. There's no way the Social Security fund is going to run out in 2034, as many pundits say it will. The government taps into it too often to lose their free source of money. However, that has to stop, as well as there are plenty of ways to increase the Social Security fund very easily. For New York, we need to lower the taxes. We need to fight to unite New York, downstate, and upstate, and have a policy in government, in the state, to lower taxes. It's the only way that people in New York are going to have a better standard of living in terms of being able to pay their taxes, pay everything. The taxes in New York drive business away. It's huge. It needs to be done. There's ways to do it. Less federal government control. We don't want the government making all the laws for every state. Let's talk about healthcare. I'm all for the free market approach to healthcare, buying across state lines and having the states have more control over the healthcare in their state. They know their states better than the federal government. The federal government can't get anything done, as we already have talked about. Fair and equal trade with our allies is paramount. Again, federal Trump President Trump has been putting a lot of time and talk into this. He's fighting for it. The tariffs will work once everybody realizes that he's not kidding around, that we need free and fair trade. We need to stop the Russian meddling in our election system. And we know what's going on. We must not deny it. We must stare it in the eye, stare the Russians in the eye and say, look, we need this stopped. And we're going to keep hammering sanctions until it does. Citizens only should be able to vote. Non-citizens should not be allowed to vote. It's happening. Non-citizens are registering. Non-citizens have voted. It's proven. The Democrats are trying to use this to get more people to vote. Again, only citizens in our country should vote. I am pro Second Amendment. It's one of the cornerstones of our Constitution. And we cannot allow anybody to take that away, diminish it in any way, shape, or form. There are ways to combat the shootings and things like that. Mental illness is a huge problem in this country, and that seems to be a common denominator for many of the domestic shootings that occur. We need to do a better job of protecting our children in our schools and monitoring those who have mental health problems. That's it for today's edition of What You Need to Know. I'd love to hear your opinions, and stay tuned again tomorrow for the next edition. Thank you.